Warriors, I welcome you to episode number 364. This is the Anxiety Guy podcast, and I am your grateful host, Dennis Simsek. If you haven't subscribed to this podcast yet, please go ahead and do that. Leave a positive rate and review if in fact it is helping you, and if you get a chance, come on over and visit theanxietyguy.com and learn more about any of my transformative programs today at theanxietyguy.com. And friends, in this podcast episode, we are getting practical because I want to show you the 5 steps that we need to take to get to inner peace. Now, when I present these 5 steps to you, they are progressive, meaning you must do step 1, then step 2, step 3, and so on in order for you to meet with inner peace, and you must be very, 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 notice I said very 3 times, very consistent when it comes to the application of these steps. You will not get what you truly deserve and want until you are consistent. And in order to be consistent, you have to be patient, warriors. You have to adopt a patient mindset when it comes to not only anxiety healing, but total transformation. Because, as I mentioned in the bridge metaphor, you're starting on one side of the bridge and trying to get to the other side of the bridge. You're starting with your inner child. You're starting with the inner child belief systems. You're starting with the ego. You're starting with all the emotional reactions to things. You're starting with all the fearful perceptions over life. And on the other side is a place that feels very unfamiliar. You feel at peace on the other side of the bridge. And more often than not, you can't even identify with being a person on the other side of the bridge because you no longer want to identify with anything. You don't want to call yourself a father. You don't want to call yourself an accountant. You don't want to call yourself a tennis coach. You don't want to call yourself any kind of label anymore because once you do, you become identified with that label. So today, we're going to take some major steps towards getting to the other side of that bridge and meeting with inner peace once and for all. Step 1 is distance. Okay, step 1 is distance, meaning you must distance yourself from the emotional reaction to something. Okay, now you health anxiety sufferers out there, you must begin distancing yourself from the emotional reaction to a particular symptom or an emotional reaction to somebody else's illness-related story. You must distance yourself from the emotional reaction. Okay? This is key. This is key. And it helps. It really, really helps to understand where the emotional reaction is coming from. Okay, this is key, because in that very moment of you having the emotional reaction to an unfamiliar situation, to a symptom, to somebody's story, whatever it is, to criticism, to being let down, to rejection, whatever it is, in that very moment, if you understand that it is coming from the inner child/ego, you will understand that the ego is an ego-constructed prison. And in this prison, we want, or the inner child/ego wants, to keep us in a place of fear. Because the more fear we have, the more action we will be prepared to take in the future. Okay? And when you're run by the ego/inner child, there is no contentment. There is no present moment gratitude. There is only the preparation for the next big threat that may or may not arise. So step 1 is distance. You must begin to distance yourself from the emotional reaction that you normally have to something that you perceive as being a fear. Step 2 is we must broaden our perspectives. Okay, we must broaden our perspectives. We want to focus on depth, warrior, depth in thinking, seeing far beyond the emotional and mental reactions of the inner child/ego. We must never ever succumb to the initial feeling or idea connected to an event that triggered anxiousness and fear within you as you live within a higher vibration now. Okay? So, step 2 is we need to begin opening ourselves up and broadening our perspectives. Okay? Your emotions will make you think that there's only one way to see something. Okay? The inner child/ego will make you think that there's only one way to react to any given situation. It keeps you in the dimension of tunnel vision. Okay, but in step 2, by recognizing that it is essential to broaden our perspectives, we become open to a new interpretation. Okay, one that is true rather than fearfully conditioned within us. Then we go to step 3. In step 3, we align. We align a physiological or behavioral response with the new perspective. Let me explain. First, we distance, right? We distance ourselves from the emotional reaction. Second, we broaden our perspectives. Thirdly, we align. So based on the perspective that we have now, the new perspective over things, we must have a similar physiological response. Your posture must be aligned with the new perspective. Your breathing pattern must be aligned with the new perspective. Your facial expression, it's not worried anymore, is it? It's neutral, it's pleasant, right? It's understanding, it's creative. Your facial expression must align with the new perspective. Your speed and how fast you do things must align with the new perspective. Or behavioral response, meaning your action, must align with the new perspective. You're going to hear me repeat things today because I really want to make sure that you understand these 5 steps. Okay? So, yes, you can distance yourself from the emotional reaction. Yes, you can broaden your perspectives and open up to new perceptions over things. But in step 3, you must align your response with the new perspective. Okay? Because a lot of people stop here. They go, oh, the perspective is enough, right? Oh, the mental activity that is new and the change work that I'm doing mentally is enough. No, it's not enough. Okay? That's why when I do imagery exercises with people and a lot of my reframing practices, I always utilize the body in the imagery practice because what's the largest part of your subconscious mind? It's the body. If you don't engage the body in any kind of change work, you're not going to get any change. Period. End of story. Okay? So we need to engage the body in the change work that we're doing. And in step 3, we are aligning our body, our actions with the new perspective that we want to adopt in this particular situation. Okay? Then we go to step 4. Begin associating this new feeling and response to who you truly are as you transition from a fear-centered identity to a freedom-centered identity. I think I said censored there. I meant centered. Okay? So here what's happening is you're distancing yourself from the emotional reaction, right? I'm creating some distance. Step 2, we're broadening our perspectives, right? We're seeing a much bigger picture to what's going on. Step 3, we are aligning ourselves, our bodies, and our actions with the new perspective. And in step 4, we're beginning to associate this new feeling and response to who we truly are. Warriors, you're not on this journey just to adopt these lessons and then go back to your old life again. Okay, it's not like, oh, I'm done anxiety, so I can go and eat all those preservative-based junk foods. I can be random in my diet again. No, 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 no. I can adopt friends that are energy vampires again. I can go back to the addiction to suffering and watch all the reality shows I ever wanted. No, that's not it. Right? We're not doing these things to achieve the goal of healing anxiety and then going back to the old identity, because if we do, we're always going to have anxiety. We're doing these things as lifestyle changes to tap back into who you truly are, the truth, not the fake mask that you put up every single day, the truth behind who you truly are. And that is a place of living within inner peace. That is a place of expressiveness, not suppression. That is a place where we no longer see threats as threats. We see beyond the threats that we initially feel around things. Okay? This is a freedom-centered identity. Freedom-centered identity. When we think about ourselves, we think about ourselves as free human beings, not fear-centered identity. That's who your mother was. That's who your father was. That's who your brother was, your sister was. That's who your teacher was. That's not who you are. Okay? So all these changes in step 4, we're recognizing that that is actually who we are. We're not making these changes so that we can get to a finish line. There is no finish line, okay? The true purpose to your life, you're living it out right now. Did you know that? So many people out there are going, what's my purpose? Through the inner healing journey, you are already meeting with your purpose, okay? Then we go to step 5. Step 5 is you give yourself credit. That's it, right? There's no massive explosion here in step 5, right? No, you give yourself credit. Give yourself permission to feel good about the change you made, since the feelings are the languages that dictate what you bring into your future. Okay, feelings are the language that the universe uses to see what you want in your future, who you want to be, how you want to perceive life. Okay, so in step 5, you're going, I'm going to give myself some credit for this change work. I'm doing pretty good here. I love who I am and I love where I am, meaning where I am in terms of where I am in this healing journey. Okay, I don't need to go from 0 to 10 overnight. As much as a part of me does, I don't want to miss out on the lessons that I'm going to be gaining along the way. So what's with all the impatience, right? Let's go over this again. 5 steps to true inner peace. Step 1, distance yourself from the emotional reaction. Are you doing this right now? If you are, great. If you're not, begin to identify with this step. Step 2, broaden your perspectives, okay? Step 3, align a physiological or a behavioral response with the new perspective, okay? So you got the new perspective, and now the action follows the perspective. Step 4, begin associating this new feeling and response to who you truly are. This is who I am. It's who I am. I'm not adopting this person. This is who I truly am. Step 5, give yourself credit. You follow these 5 steps consistently, your life will change. Okay? But remember, today's the worst you'll ever be at this. Okay? You're just adopting this, you're just getting your feet wet, and please understand that this is a journey. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes understanding, and it takes reflection. Okay? It takes reflection. Warriors, I want you to know deep down that you are more than anxiety first and foremost. My newest book, The Essential Guide to Health Anxiety, is out now on Amazon. Pick it up. Leave a positive rate and review for me on that book. I would truly appreciate it. And I love you. I truly love you because I get you. I understand you. I know where you are. And also, I know where you're going. You're going towards a place of inner peace, fulfillment, expression, childlike wonder, and humor, fun, lightness in your life. That's where you're going. So, let's get prepared for where you're going. Let's implement these 5 steps regularly. I love you. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
The most powerful anxiety guidebooks on true anxiety recovery are now available on Amazon. Pick up Beyond Anxiety and F Coping, Start Healing, and supercharge your healing journey today. Also visit www.theanxietyguy.com to connect with Dennis and find the right online program for you. Remember, you are more than anxiety. See you in the next podcast episode.